Alright, so this is my Raspberry Pi based truck control module. This is all just for software editing. This will be hooked up to wires in my truck. Each one of these LEDs will have a 4 or 5 watt LED pod, and the relays will be hooked up to various equipment in my truck. So first menu is a basic options menu. The whole purpose of this menu is a lot of the features are specific to going off-road. So I want things to be available when on the road. So I can manually turn on my CB and my PA. Winch controls, the buttons for the motor are disabled unless it's powered on, in which case you can then run the winch. Onboard air, light controls. We'll have area lights, the long range lights or running lights will be hooked up to my daylighters. Also have options for emergency flash, which will all be going through the LED pods. There's an array of 15 different flash patterns that you can set even after it starts, and it will default to just that flash pattern or the series of flash patterns that are selected. Okay. Still working out some bugs. So when you go into off-road mode, Headlight Sync is selected, which will take inputs from various lights on my truck. Area lights will sync with when the headlights are on. The daylighters will sync with when my high beams are on. I'll have an input from brake lights that will flash rear ambers when the brakes are on, and reverse lights will be hooked up to rear area lights. And all these options are reflected in the menu with a button color change. You also have the option of manually taking over and disabling that one from control with the Headlight Sync, so you can then leave it off if you like while still using the other ones, which will all still be functioning, but you can manually turn each of those off. And then to get them all back on, you just turn off Headlight Sync and turn it back on. Headlight Sync does still work while flash patterns are enabled. So if it loses signal for the headlights, those will start flashing. If it gets a signal for the reverse lights, those will stop flashing and go solid white. This also has a menu for winch controls. The buttons are tied in with the menu I showed earlier. Same with onboard air. Lastly, it will be taking inputs from my transfer case. Transfer case works off of ground Hall sensors. So when you shift into 4 high, one of 2 Hall sensors will be enabled, which will tell the circuit that you're in 4 high. It'll flash a message briefly. If you then shift down to 4 low, it will connect both Hall sensors, which will show low range when both are enabled. When neither of them are enabled, when you're coming out of 4-wheel drive, it will show 2 high. I'm thinking about connecting that with some sort of audible tone as well.